What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 75, and we start today's episode off with some player training, and also we see here that we've got two scouting updates, and our FA Cup 5th round draw has just been made, as we see the tournament prize money email here. So I rushed to the calendar to see who we've got, and as you can see, we have got on the 1st of March, Manchester City in the last 16. Of all the teams left in the draw, that's the one team I didn't want. Brilliant. You know, there are a couple of championship sides still left in here. You got Nottingham Forest, you got Brentford, Norwich are still Norwich are now a championship side in the game as well. But Manchester City in the last 16. For fuck's sake. I mean, we're never going to get there, are we? We are never going to get to Wembley. We're going to be on that yellow brick road for a lifetime, and we'll never end up getting to the end. Honestly, man, Manchester City, you know, back in Season 2, they beat us in the last 16 at the Etihad Stadium in that 4-3 thriller, and now we've got them again in the 5th round, this time at Bramwell Lane, but I don't think the result will be different. I'm pretty sure our progress is going to end there at the last 16 stage. Still, following that, I needed cheering up. So I wrote to the FA and I said, for fuck's sake, we keep on getting these tough cup draws. Could you please let us have permission to change squad numbers mid-season, which doesn't normally happen in real life? And the FA wrote back, feeling a bit sorry for us, and said, yeah, go on then. So we changed squad numbers of quite a lot of our young players. I know you guys are always calling me to change the squad numbers, so I thought I'd do it here mid-season, right after the January transfer window. And as you can see, we changed numbers here. Bogle's got the number 2. Now that's become vacant after Baldock left. We've also given Barry Walsh number 8 after Davy Prupper left, and Jordan Tarana said to Scott McKenna, Captain, I know you've had your eye on that number 6 since you came here, and I know I've been taking it for the past couple of years, but why don't you take it now? Scott, I know so many of you guys have said Scott McKenna should be number 6 here. Scott the Block deserves that number 6. Jordan Tarana, team player, says, I'll take number 4. You can have my number 6. McKenna becomes the number 6. Eze takes number 7 as well. I really like that one, Eze, number 7. I think he's very much suited to it. And as for Ivan Toney, wearing number 29, I certainly wasn't going to take DCL's 10 off him. McBurney's number 9 was there, but I didn't want to take it off Ollie either. 11 was free, but I thought, you know what? Fuck it. I said, Ivan, what number do you want? And he said, 40. I said, what? He said, 40. I said, what? He said, 40. I said, what? He said, are you deaf? He said, no, I want 40. I want the squad number 40. Because this season, I've scored 12 goals in 24 games. That's an average of 1 every 2. And that's not bad. But you know what I did last season? Do you know how many goals I scored last season in the Premier League? Look at my fucking shorts now. 40. I scored 40 goals in the Premier League last year, and this year, quite frankly, Gaffer, I've not been doing it. I've not been doing good enough for this team. And I said, mate, 1 in 2 is pretty decent. He said, yeah, but it's not going to be getting me 40 goals again, is it? It's not good enough, is it? It's not good enough for us to get into the Champions League. If we are going to break into the top 4, like the board have asked us to do, if you're going to keep your job here, I want you to stay. I need to put this team on my back once again and get us the goals we need. So I would say, Gaffer, the FA have given us permission to change those squad numbers. Give me that number 40. I want to remind everyone of the sort of player I was last year and the sort of player I still am. This year it's not been good enough. I want to change to 40 and remind every single fan in England what I'm capable of when I'm aggressive, when I'm in attack mode, and when I'm putting the sword to their opposition defenders. So Tony takes the number 40 from number 29 to remind everyone of just how good this guy is. But is he good enough to fire us into the Champions League? Well, as I run you through the squad and you can see who's been doing what in the first half of the season, it's going to take a lot if we are to make up the ground. Of course, you saw the league table at the back end of the last episode as you see our current starting 11 here. I'm still undecided on whether Turnbull is going to take out Jamal Lewis's spot in midfield quad. I think to begin with, I will put David in there in the starting 11. And also, as this is Saturday morning for you guys, totally forgot to mention at the start of the episode, if you want to see another quadruple upload weekend of career mode, you know the drill, you know what to do now. 1,000 likes on this morning's video, and we'll have another 3 episodes this weekend, so 4 in the weekend. 1,000 likes today, and we'll have yet another quadruple upload weekend of career mode. So that's our squad for the rest of the season. No changes to it now, as you see the top scorer, the assist and clean sheet charts in the Premier League. Dean is number 2 in the clean sheet charts right now, with Calvert-Lewin with 15 goals in 20, only 4 behind Leroy Sané. And as you look at the league table here, as you saw in the last episode, 13 games to go with 14 points behind Tottenham Hotspur in 4th place. So if we are to make the Champions League, We've got to get to work right now, and we've really got to put the grind in. And for our first game of today's episode, well, it was fate, wasn't it? We're away at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium to take on Jose Mourinho's Spurs, where a loss in this game and back-to-back defeats on the back of the 3-0 loss away against Bournemouth would mean that Spurs would be, 17 points clear of us with 12 games to go. It will be all over. There'd be no way we'd be making up the ground. So heading into this game, we didn't just need a point. We didn't just need to stop Spurs winning. We needed to get the 3 points ourselves. And with our new squad numbers out there as well, with David Turnbull, our new man, in the starting 11 too, we need to start this game off in attack mode and show Spurs that we're not giving up in the race for the Champions League. And we began playing at a really fast tempo as well, getting early chances, creating early opportunities, golden chances 17 minutes in as Eze shot is blocked and Morelos on the spin couldn't find the back of the net. Still 0-0, but it was all the Blades in the first half. We were really pressing hard on Spurs and getting the chances, and as Ivan Toney turned Michael Keane, he found a bit of space and he smashed it in to the back of the net as well. Inside the first 20 minutes, Ivan runs to the fans and said, yeah, 1 goal in 2 isn't bad, but come on boys, you know I'm better than that. Look at the number on the back of my shirt. It's goal number 13 for the season as Toney fires the Blades into an early lead, no less than we deserved. And as we continue to attack, we continue to get the chances. Walsh finds Shaw, back to Barry Walsh, dinks it over the top to Ivan Toney on the half volley. What a goal by the Shocker. Doubles the scoreline right before the break, and I love the 4 here with the squad number changes. Shaw keeping number 3, but Walsh to 8, Eze to 7. They get their first team squad number changes, and Toney with 40 goals last year. Can you imagine if he goes on the run of all runs and scores 26 more goals in the final 12 games to match 40 and get us into the Champions League? I mean, that would be absolutely unbelievable. I think even that is too much for Ivan Toney. He might be an amazing striker, but I think that's probably asking a bit too much of the Shocker. But what we asked of him in this game was get aggressive, showcase what you did all through last season. You know, stay in attack mode, get those shots in on goal, and get the more goals for us. He'd scored 2 in the first half. He was on course for a hat-trick, and he was looking superb. And 3 minutes after the restart, we almost went 3 goals up. Barry Walsh, looking for his first goal wearing the number 8, fired that shot just wide of the post as it was still 2-0. But Mourinho's men did wake up in the second half. They started playing better football, started getting more chances, and 13 minutes after the restart, well, if they were going to get back in the game, it was of course going to be my arch nemesis getting them back in the game. Heung-min Son, who always scores against me in career mode, does it once again. It was a wicked ball to the far post on the left hand side. What a cross that was. And as the Korean pulls off Ollie Shaw, must admit I think Dean probably got his positioning wrong there at the near post, but as the Korean fires it in, it's 2-1, and now the pressure was on our young Blades. We surrendered so many leads in the past before, and so many 2-goal leads as well. Would we crack once again in a game where we simply couldn't afford to drop points? Well, with 12 minutes to go, Kyle Walker almost scored his first goal since returning home, smashed that shot into the side netting as it went the wrong side of the post, but in the end it didn't matter that he didn't hit the target because Toney's 2 goals ensure we get the 3 points and a massive win away at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in North London. Final score, Spurs 1, Sheffield United 2. I believe our first win at this ground in the series so far. I felt we were full value for the win as well. Our first half play in particular was absolutely superb. I got to give man the match to the whole team for responding after a really tough December. Not the greatest of Januaries, but that right there was the performance that we needed, and we'll need a lot more performances like that if we are to get into the top 4 and make the ground up. Toney's 2 goals win us the game. Number 40 gets goals number 13 and 14, and as you can see with 12 games to go, we've cut the gap on Tottenham to 11 points. There's still a lot of ground to make up. We are still massive underdogs to break into the Champions League, but that's the way to start off. A big statement victory away against Jose Mourinho's side. You know, Tottenham in that game, had they have won the game, which really they were favourites to do considering our shaky form of late, particularly away from home where we've barely won in the Premier League. In fact, I think I'm right in saying we've only had 1 win in our last 5 away games in the Premier League. So going to Tottenham there, all the pressure on our back. Didn't we deliver? Long way to go, of course, but the deficit could have been 17 points with 12 games to go. Now it's 11. Big 6-point swing there. Question is, will we have the momentum to take us into the top 4 come the end of the season? And will Spurs drop enough points between now and the 38th game for us to have a chance of finishing in the top 4? I guess we'll have to wait and see. But still, for our second and final game of today's episode, we'll be away from home in Austria for the first leg of our Europa League round of 32 tie here against Rapid Vienna. And of course, in this city, we took out Austria Vienna in the Europa League group stages. Of course, they finished in 4th place with no points in their 6 games. So going away from home, we've been here before, facing different opposition, but I was hoping for the same sort of response and the same sort of performance we'd have as we had last time we were here in Austria. In the group stage against Austria Vienna, we won by 5-0. And in this game, I wanted the same sort of scoreline. I wanted the tie to be over before we headed back to Bramwell Lane. And what a start. 24 minutes in. Oh, yeah, he's back, baby. We gave it a number 40, and he's woken up. He was like, bloody hell. It was looking over a highlights package of him last season, the record-breaking 40 goals. I showed it to him on a constant loop for 6 hours. It was therapy for him. And he was like, was that really me last year? I was like, yes, it was, Ivan. You're better than what you've been doing this season. And this goal, the team played for him for that one there. Alfredo Morelos chasing the golden boot in the Europa League, but the Colombian is still a team player. Could have smashed it in himself, but decided to play a lovely cheeky little back heel to Ivan Toney into the path of the shocker. He runs through for his 2nd goal of the game and makes it Rapid Vienna 0, Sheffield United 2, and from kickoff, the poor Austrians had just capitulated. Bruno wins it back and finds Fagan. Lovely through ball to Morelos, and whilst he sees Ivan going to the far post, he says, mate, I just gave you one. Let me have this one, yeah. I want the golden boot in Europe this year, and that's my 8th goal in the competition. It's 3-0 to Sheffield United inside the first half an hour, and it was already looking like job done, and the travelling fans were certainly getting their reward for braving the cold and making the trip. 3-0 away in Austria, and we just continued to attack. We were relentless, and we were refusing to just sit down and say, do you know what, that's enough. We kept on going, and as Andrew Pele was sent forward, he's had a really good year for us, Pele, in limited minutes. Went through 1-on-1. I'd say the goalkeeping here was pretty shambolic, but we don't mind one bit. The Frenchman played forward, 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper, chips it over him and into the back of the net, and I love the celebrations as well, as we went 4 goals up away in Austria, with the travelling fans up the other end celebrating every goal, knowing just what it means. Sheffield United are back to their best. 4-0 at Austria, and we'd only played half an hour's worth of football. We were aggressive in attack mode, and we're looking like real bullies out there. 4-0 up, and that could have became 5 right before the break, which it would have done so. He didn't start this game, but as we were 4-0 up, I made my changes before half-time. Oscar Anderson, Zlatan's regen, comes off the bench, and my goodness, this guy looks so cool at 6'5". He's got the skill, he's got the pace, and oh, he's got the end product to match. My word, what a goal by the Swede on his first appearance in a Blade shirt. Talk about making your mark. What a finish into the top corner. No chance of the keeper. Tony might not get his hat-trick, but he was still so pleased, as was I, to see the Swede come off the bench in his first appearance and get a debut goal as well. 5-0 to the Blades, job done, and it could have become 6 as well with 15 minutes to go. We were leading by 5 in the second half, so really I just conserved energy, passed the ball around, didn't look to see anyone go down. It was snowy, it was a snowy game out there. The turf was frozen, so there was an added risk of the injuries we could have got in this game, so I didn't want to see anyone go down in the second half and get needless injuries for us leading by 5, so I didn't look for too many attacks in the second half. We got a couple, could have made it 6 in the end, couldn't find the back of the net once again, but I think 5-0 really is enough. Final score in Austria, Rapid Vienna 0, Sheffield United 5, all goals coming inside the first 45 minutes. What a dominant win from the Blades, and I'd say now, for sure, with no disrespect to our opponents, we've not just got 1 foot in the next round, we're basically completely in the next round. The only thing that's not in the next round is our forehead poking out the top. We're basically there now, 5-0, and that means we can rest all of our players, the luxury of knowing we can rest all of our players in the second leg at Bramwell Lane, knowing the tie is basically over already. Sheffield United though, they're back. The squad number change have certainly helped, no doubt about that. However, we've got 2 big games to come in the next episode, featuring the second leg of that Rapid Vienna tie as well. as we take on both Manchester clubs at home in the Premier League, where come the end of the next episode, we could know whether we've got any chance of finishing in the top 4 or not. But that will end today's episode of Career Mode, guys. So big thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed it. And if you did enjoy today's episode, then please drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day. And don't forget 1,000 likes for another quadruple upload weekend of Career Mode.